All right, everybody, what'll it be? The brass or the aluminum? Do you have the brass?
Shave it up!
Hey everybody, Cleanshaver here, and I am at it again. It's another week and another video. Time for me to talk about the my pros and cons list, we'll call it, between the Hone Type 15, which is the brass model, and the Hone Type 15A, which is the aluminum model. So I'll make this more of a buyer's guide, if you will, and help you to figure out which model is right for you. I love both of them. I will say that right now. I love both of these razors and I love shaving with them. But which one is right for you? I've had a lot of people ask me what the difference is to me, and I want to share that with you. So let's go ahead and get into it. First, two essentially same razors. Same design, same name. Not the same in performance or feel necessarily, but quite a difference between the two. So obviously let's go into this. Cnc Machined Brass for the first one. Now this one has developed quite a patina, as brass will do. Now, is that a bad thing? Not necessarily, depends on what you like. I could polish this up and keep it really nice and shiny if I wanted to. I kind of like the patina, I think it's cool. The aluminum, same kind of thing. It's CNC machined. However, this does not develop the patina. It is a satin finish, if you will, or a matte, somewhere between satin and matte. It's not a matte finish because no light would reflect off of it if it was truly matte, but it is more of a satin finish on it, but you don't get the patina. You do get a little bit of the wear on it, but you don't get the patina like you do on the bronze, or brass, excuse me. Brass and bronze are actually very similar, just so we clear that up. Yes, they are made up of different metals, I know that, but they behave very similarly, so, and weigh about the same. So we're getting down to brass tacks. Okay, all right, so let's talk about the performance of the razors. When it comes down to performance, both of them are very efficient, yet very, very mild. This is one of the very few razors, this and the aluminum, are one of the very few razors that I can use a feather blade in and not get torn to shreds. That's saying something for me. Is that gonna be great for you? I actually sent this razor around to a group of friends and let them try it all throughout last year. I just got it back last month. I heard good things and bad things from them. Some of them really liked it, some of them didn't like it. Most of them had an issue with the weight, which I'll get to that here in just a bit. But several of them said that, you know what, the angle to them was a little bit finicky because it's a rather large head on it. I mean, it's almost as big as my head. It is a rather large head, and so that makes it, it can make it a little bit hard to find that angle, but once you do, it gets dialed right in and it shaves great. So it really depends on what you want to do. But I will say that the aluminum is actually designed slightly differently, where this gives you just ever so slightly more blade feel. And that was on purpose, actually. See, they discovered that the weight of the aluminum version was so light, it was such a difference that they needed to adjust the angle of the blade so that it actually did more. It's not much, but it is just a little bit. I'd say maybe 10% more blade feel on the aluminum versus the brass. So mild, yet very efficient. Things that I love, actually. I know that I can use it very confidently and I can shave day after day with it and not have any issues. So I really like it in that respect. As far as the differences in weight are concerned, so the Type 15 comes in at I weighed it on my kitchen scale, digital kitchen scale, so it's not anything official, at 165 grams, which is heavy. That is heavy. And then the aluminum came in at 52 grams. So quite the difference here. I mean, this is about a third of the weight of the brass version. That's a big difference, especially as a head shaver. I mean, as far as performance is concerned, they perform very similarly, but you know, they're going to be a different experience based on the weight. Okay, if I were breaking it down to what would I prefer for my face versus my head, I would prefer the brass for my face. And the reason why is because I like the weight that it gives me, the pressure. I just basically drag it along and let it do the work. And I don't have to worry about it. It's perfect for that. I love that. When it comes to shaving my head though, it's a bit heavy. It's like getting a workout. Of course, maybe I just need to go to the gym more. I prefer the aluminum for shaving my head. It is lighter. I do wish it was just a little bit heavier so that when I'm setting it on the top of my head and I'm going along, I wouldn't have to apply pressure because I feel like I do. Because it's so light, I want to compensate for that, and it's really hard to fight that urge. I did actually try earlier this week mixing it up a little bit because the head and the handles are the same design, essentially. I tried mixing them up, and so I did like the brass handle and top cap on the aluminum base plate, and then vice versa, the aluminum top cap and handle on the brass base plate. And found that I actually really liked the aluminum top cap and handle on the brass base plate because it made it just a little bit heavier while still having the lightness of the aluminum. So that balanced out really well. It did throw it off balance. I'm not saying it because I mean it's as far as balance is concerned, these are very well balanced razors by themselves. When you start mixing with them, throws it off quite a bit. But to each their own. The part that I think most people find difficult about this razor is that it's a bit expensive. Okay, the Type 15, the brass version, comes in it's priced on their website at 140 pounds, British pounds, which comes out to about $170, give or take a couple bucks. And I just left it at that based on the fact that exchange rates keep changing. So about $170 as of today. The aluminum version, whether you get the plain raw aluminum or if you get the Cerakote version, the black one, it's 85 pounds, which comes out to about $100. So that's a considerable price tag, especially for a lot of people that, if you're getting into shaving for cost savings, that's an issue. But man, I really like how it shaves. I really, really do. In fact, I have to watch this razor closely because my little brother keeps threatening to steal it. I'm watching you. I really, really, really like this razor, and based on my experience with it, if it were up to me to buy it again, would I? I would save up and buy it. I may not be able to buy it right away because I may not have that kind of disposable income, but I would probably buy it. I would probably save up and buy it. I really, really like it that much. Now, the thought occurred to me, could they meet somewhere in the middle? And kind of. So I started thinking about, okay, could you use different metals to make it a different experience, have a weight that's somewhere in between? And the problem is that you get into a lot of issues with machining. So for instance, stainless steel is ever so slightly lighter than brass, but really when it comes down to it, it's not so different that it would make a huge difference. It's maybe like 2 or 3% lighter than brass. So not a whole lot of difference there. Titanium is about half the weight of brass and about double the weight of the aluminum, a little less than double, but it's about half the weight of the brass, but it's titanium. That's hard to machine, okay? That's really difficult stuff to work with, so maybe not. Then I thought about, what about like chromium? Chromium would be really cool, except it's also very hard and hard to work with. It's about 20% lighter than brass, which would make it a markable difference, but would it be a big enough difference to make it a big deal to me or to somebody else? Maybe, I don't know. But it's going to be harder to work with than brass or aluminum. So that, I have a feeling that's why they went with these two different models, even though there is such a chasm between them as far as weight is concerned. So, yeah. So which one should you buy? Well, I'm going to break it down to this. Is price a big factor for you? Because if it is, probably go with the aluminum. Is weight a big factor for you? Do you like light razors? Aluminum. Do you like heavy razors? Brass. Are you a head shaver / face shaver? Well, then you're gonna have to make a choice. but your arms will probably thank you eventually. It's hard to say. I really would struggle with that decision. Luckily, I don't have to because I have both of them, and they're both staying in my den, unless my little brother steals it. That they recently won the IF Design Gold Award for 2016. Really cool, and congratulations, Andrew, on your hard work, and very deserving. It's a beautiful piece. It's really a work of art, in my opinion. I love the look of this razor. I love the feel of it, and I love how it performs. So congratulations on that, Andrew. That's all I have for you guys today. No necessarily concrete decisions, but I would like to know what you would pick. Based on what I've said today, what would your choice be? Put it down in the comment section down below. I also want to quickly thank everybody for subscribing to my channel. I just on Wednesday hit 3,000 subscribers, which I am so stoked about. I don't know what you all see in me, but I truly do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to my family, and I really do appreciate what you do for me, and thank you so much. If you haven't already, make sure that you hit the little subscribe button, and there's a new little feature, the little bell icon. If you haven't done that, make sure you click on that little bell so that you get a notification every time I post a new video, which is usually Friday mornings, but just so that you know, you'll get a notification when that comes up. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, well, don't worry about giving it a thumbs down. You can find me on all my social media outlets on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google+, Voicebyte, Snapchat, Kick. All that's down in the description down below. And make sure to check out my last video where I shaved at below 0 Fahrenheit. It was actually -8 Fahrenheit. That was cold. It was really cold. But anyway, that's it for my video today. Thank you everybody for watching. Be smooth and shave it up. We'll see you next time. Take care.